Hello and welcome to today's episode of UTech. I'm Kai.
And I'm Alec.
And today we're going to be doing a review and unboxing of my personal NZXT H440 special edition color. This particular one is orange. Let's
like the pumpkin.
like the pumpkin. So let's take a look. Let's get started. So, one thing about shipping I'm going to point out, let's look at the box real quick. So, on the front we have kind of a nice rainbow looking outline of the case. I'm saying because custom colors, that you get all the colors, even though there's only like red, orange, green. Is that it? I think that's it.
It's on the front. I think they have purple actually. I think they have purple, blue, maybe a few more.
Yeah. So, on the back side, we have some more fine print specs along with our big picture. This is more, the print looks more red than it does orange, but I guarantee you it is orange. I chose this case just because it has a nice big window. It's really clean on the inside from what I could tell from the online pictures. It has room for a really big radiator on the top, up to a 360M. And yeah, so that's the front.
On-track shipping sucks, by the way. This is... I actually, here, just point this out.
Okay, so...
One, all of the dents. Even with UPS you get that, but on-track is extra... Like, I've had them poke holes in the top of a case box just to pick it up, even though there was holes on the side.
Yeah. And the weirdest thing is, like, the cardboard turned into mush. I'm not really sure what this was caused by, or why it's even a thing, but it feels like...
Water.
Yeah, like water damage. And I'm kind of scared that we're gonna find mold inside this. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
But hey, let's see and find out.
Yeah.
So, you want to just start? Want to make the first incision?
Yes. Here. It is damp. This is definitely water damage. This is like legit water here.
Okay, we're gonna flip it over.
But
on its side.
Looks like it didn't damage the case at all, which is good.
We're gonna flip it down. Oh my gosh!
I told you that was gonna happen.
I know you did. It's okay, buddy.
Oh, okay. So I believe we're upside down right now.
That is a very wet box, actually.
Dang.
That's just
so that weird.
This way. Okay, and now we're back. Okay.
I'm just freaking out, or nerding out right now because this orange, just even through the plastic on, I don't think it's on that side, but the orange on this side looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie.
The styrofoam is not wet where the water was.
So that's good. At least it evaporated a little bit.
But because of the shipping materials that NZXT used, or the packing, it did crack. And if it got another blow to this side, it might have damaged the case, which wasn't really bad.
So, I believe we're vertical now.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay, let's see. What do we got in there?
So in here we got our NZXT mid-tower chassis inside a little, luckily waterproof bag. Let's take a quick look at this.
We got 2 cracks on this foam. I'm surprised. I wish they would definitely get at least a little bit better foam, but.
First page shows you how to take out all your filters, your front, and everything. But you know, who looks at instructions anyway? So let's get the plastic off.
And then you gotta get off the feet really fast. Do you want to do the grand presentation?
That's backwards. No, wait, that's the window.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really liking this orange. I would have to say
this is nice.
They did a very good job with that orange. You want to take off the
plastic
on the outside? Yeah, it is.
So we got plastic on the outside, and on the inside of our window.
Yeah, well, we can do that in a minute. But is there? I really love the look of this case, even though it's very clean on the outside, especially if you know on the front. They have this up here, but it looks like it doesn't have really a purpose other than just to look cool. Right. I'd say the lines, the front is just very smooth.
Lots of accents, which I really like.
Let's look at the I/O on the top real fast.
So it looks like we have our power, our really tiny reset, which I actually like. You have your standard audio, your microphone, 2 USB 3.0 and 2 USB 2.0. So nice USB slots, more than my previous case, which is nice.
I would say that the venting holes for the top and the front they're only on one side. There's this side here that's all mesh. I really love the orange accent on there, and then one down the side right here. I do really just like the look of the plastic, even though it's not really cheesy plastic. It's very reflective, but I like the accent that it gives to it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely adds a lot more.
The orange, I'm just going to say now, it might just be these really bright lights, but it's a little bit lighter than I had hoped. It's not as much of a fluorescent orange. However, it still looks really nice, and I'm quite happy with it along this nice contrasting mesh in the vent holes. So I suppose we can crack it open?
Yeah, I just want to make one more note that on this side, it's a much sharper edge than on this side. It's actually rounded, which I really like the look of that because especially if you have your case on the right of you, it really is just going to flow off to the edge of the desk, and it's more a little bit sharper toward you. It's just a little note that I had.
So let's actually look at the back real quick.
Okay.
I forgot that. So the back side, I'm not really sure how many cases do this, but the fan is bulging, or the grill is bulging a little bit. I suppose if you want to have more of a fan that sticks through and you don't want to have to worry about things running into other things. So that's kind of nice. The covers are really nice. They're actually not as nice as I wish they were. I personally prefer the mesh. However, you know, changing things up a little bit isn't exactly a bad thing, and they are cut diagonally. Yeah, which actually does match the grill on the top, so that's really nice. Looks like it has a standard little mount bracket for your power supply. These grommets look really nice. They are a major improvement to previous NZXT grommets, like the one on my old case. Yeah, that about sums it up for the backside.
I would definitely say that they did do a very good job of keeping this diagonal look all across the ports on the case, and yet still keeping the smooth finished look on the rest of it that's rounded and much more clean than the rest, than even diagonal. And yeah, let's want to take a look at the inside?
Sure. Okay, taking the cover off, the first thing that catches my eye is the NZXT logo. I'm fairly certain that lights up. I suppose we could change it with a different color LED sometime in the future. We shall have to see with that. I'm also going to note that this is 2 SSD plates, detachable. I'm glad they added that because I am planning on doing SSD some point in the future.
I do also want to note that these aren't just SSD. It could be a 2.5-inch hard drive on there. Your choice, but majority of the time it is SSD. I would have to agree with that. I would like to note that the metal that they kept the same texture everywhere. It didn't really cheap out on, like I have seen some cases do. And the plastic lines up with the plastic on almost all the case, which this is plastic here, and yet all of the hard drive trays and the majority of the exterior motherboard tray are all metal.
It's all very clean, I'm noticing. I'd also like to point out that the grommets over on this side that the power cables for the motherboard go through are slightly slanted. That gives you a slight bit more room to get your cables through, and you're not trying to, you know, snap your cables in half getting it through there. It also reduces stress on your motherboard. This is actually a PSU cover, which some cases don't do, but I'm glad they put it here, and one of the reasons I chose it is it does a very nice way or job of covering up your cables and your power supply. Like, you could have a ugly ass power supply in here and you're good to go, really. They also left a vertical cable slot on the top here, also 2 ones back here in case you have your SATA cables on the bottom of your motherboard, and they left lots of room for water cooler installation, or any cooler really, on the back of the motherboard.
One thing to note on the inside also is that this hole right here is made for to run your cables through to your GPU, so especially when using sleeve cables, it looks very nice in maybe using cable combs or those things that people have started to produce to make your cables look really pristine going to your graphics card. I've always loved that look. And they left some openings down here for your SSD or hard drive instead of these trays to be able to plug into and make nice clean lines inside of your case.
At the back we have more sound dampening. The same nice foam that was on the front, there's a lot more of it. That's really nice. First thing you're going to notice on the back side here is this little circuit board, which is a 1 to what looks to be 9 fan splitter. So I guess if you have lots
10.
or 10, so you can have lots of fans and
any devices, because sometimes you can even find LEDs that hook straight up to a fan header, and then that takes away one of your Molexes, which might be a cable you have to run, and keep all your Molex cables down here for cable management reasons.
So as for in-case wiring, we have our standard USB and top I/O thing. You have a bunch of power cables for your LEDs. The LEDs run throughout the case. Now, one thing I noticed that I haven't really seen before is on the back of the case here, you have this tiny little button, and this was on my other case, but it didn't do anything. But on this case, this is your toggle for the I/O LEDs, which I failed to mention earlier, but they're here, and they just light up your power cord. So if it's under your desk and it's dark and you're trying to fumble with cables, that will light that up and hopefully make it easier to see. There's also, we mentioned the LED on the front panel, the NZXT.
They're all wired up to this circuit up here that is controlling the power. And I would also like to note really fast that these feet are substantially tall, which is great for either on the floor or just for nice airflow on the bottom. I would also like to say that there's not an overly great amount of cable management room, but it's enough to get your cables, and having it dip down back here is going to make that a lot nicer. But with the way that they have designed this case, they have put enough mounting brackets everywhere that I would say is I've always been a stickler about cable management. I would say it's going to be a very nice case to be able to build in.
I'm actually quite excited.
As you can see, also, they have all their normal cables coming up from the top, or from the front, and then just have all of their headers, USB 3.0, all of your LEDs and switches, and then, of course, headset and mic. So, they're nice cables, all black. They're still, at the ends, are still colored, and then blue, of course, like it's always been. But USB 2.0, USB 3.0, like I said, headset and headphones, and then all of your switches and LEDs. You want to start taking these out so we can get to the box of goodies that these cases come with, and that's always fun. There are, if I believe, 6 hard drive trays back here that either mount 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch hard drives. Just an insane amount, actually, of cable management room on the bottom. Place to just hide your cables. There's very large spacing in between each hard drive rack, so that when you're running when you have your fans blowing over your hard drives, it's not really limiting all the airflow like I have seen done instead of some cases. One downside to this case is that there are no 5.25-inch trays, so you can't mount fan controllers or anything like that.
DVD drive.
DVD drives that inside the front of the case, which can be a downside, but they're...
I have a DVD drive in my old case, and I think I used it once to install the OS. But I just use USB flash drives now. It's so much better, and it's like,
oh, wow, that is a sketchy process, actually.
Suddenly, a present from NZXT wrapped in nice cardboard.
Let's take a quick look at that.
So we have a little twist die securing that. We'll just remove that, and it's sitting in a hard drive tray.
While you open that up, I'm going to talk about this hard drive tray really fast. So, actually, it's metal construction, which is nice. All of the drives are mounted from the bottom, which actually I've always loved that, because on one of my NZXT cases, which was the Phantom 410, it was one of those plastic drives that, like, when you try to snap it over, they just kept popping, the sides kept popping out. Did not like that at all.
It was like,
there's still rubber grommets down here to keep it from anti-vibration, but I would definitely say this is going to be a nice hard drive tray to keep everything inside of, and it's nice and secure.
I'm actually really liking this. I recently built a PC for my brother in a Phoenix Prodigy, and they had the same kind of weird rubber things that are supposed to go into the side, and they don't work quite properly, and they don't really reduce vibration all that well. So I'm really happy that they've stepped up their game and brought a secure tray for your hard drive. So let's just open up our little box of goodies right now. Inside, it looks like we have a little book of ads. That's kind of funny. That's your...
Actually, I've actually found these interesting just because they kind of go through all of their case lines and different fans and that kind of stuff. And I've always, not all the time when you buy from weird case manufacturers and they add that in there, you kind of get to know, or you just get to admire their products.
So that's kind of cool. I think I'll look through this at some point.
And then let's see, we can start taking a look at all of the screws, because everyone loves screws. There are your M3 screws, 632nd screw hexagons.
They give you an extra motherboard mounting
standoff, and actually this top piece is quite handy because you slide it over the standoff and it's easy to untighten them with a screwdriver. I've always found that handy. First time I encountered that was on an NZXT case.
You also have your standard cable ties, more 632 screw flat. These are actually kind of nice for, I don't know what, I think, actually, they're flat.
They also have a nice little sticker you can put on the front of your case, which actually, I do like that they added this, mainly because if you take a look at the front, they only have their logo down here inside of it. It's just kind of punched in, and if you really want to, you could cover that up to really show you that you have an NZXT case,
right,
because there are people that like to do those kind of things. And actually, this is an exceptional amount of screws, because I have seen some companies that don't include enough screws, or you lose a screw, those kind of things. That happens to me quite a bit.
So, you know, you could put that right there if you wanted. I don't think I personally will, because I'm quite happy with the kind of flat look in the front of my case here. But yeah, that's our box of goodies.
Yeah, actually, that was an exceptional box of goodies that I've had before. And let's take a look at underneath these front panels next.
Have more sound dampening. It's actually pretty sturdy plastic, maybe because it's double layered. This front is metal, I believe. Yeah.
No, front is definitely plastic. Front is plastic, but
it looks like metal. But yeah,
it gives you that metal look to match the outside.
That's not. Looks like metal. Yeah. Nah, it doesn't. Never mind. So it's pretty hefty for just being plastic, but it is quite solid. Again, this finish is really nice. Doesn't look like it fingerprints that easily.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely impressed on how much oil we've actually, from our fingers and arms, that we put up here, and it's still not grease over or anything. And then on the front, you can take a look that there is a fan grill, or fan mesh, that I've always loved this, just because wherever you have your case, there's always dust that gets in, and having this many intake fans is going to put a lot of high pressure inside of a lot of positive pressure to be able to blow out all the dust that does seep in through that or not. I like the magnets at the front, and I don't like the ones that are all magnets, mainly, so you have to put it in the bottom. I like the ones that are all magnets, because they tend to fall off very easily, actually. So that's just kind of pushing it.
I'm glad that they did it magnet, because my old case did not have magnets. It was more of a clip system, and I believe 2 of the 4 clips broke, so it was kind of hanging in there. So, but in any case, yes, I agree. It's quite nice having the magnets in there.
Let's try to get this top off now.
Oh god.
Let's just start with the top. So, this panel again, this anti-static film is quite nice. Which is actually interesting that they did that even though the fans are right there, but they did it on both. I don't know if that's cutting off airflow.
No, I think it's because the fans could be loud. Is that this is designed to make fans easier.
Performance over sound, just because sometimes there doesn't not look like there's that much airflow on the top, so you're definitely gonna have to run at low RPMs. But if you take a look right off the bat, you can see the top mounting holes for 3 120s, 2 140s. You can install radiators, all of that goodness. There's definitely some nice clearance. Can't get too big of a radiator, but you can get a nice one, I'd have to say, without any other words. There is some, because this actually, the orange is decently transparent, and they actually were smart enough to put this foam around here to keep from the LEDs shining out and making a little dot there, which would be a little bit awkward, so I'm really glad they did that. Again, finish is the same all over, lots of airflow going through here.
Quick look at the buttons at the top here. We have basically just like a bit of bendy plastic, which I don't blame them for. It's simple and it works. The reset button is the same thing. Yeah, again, they have the nice mesh. This time it goes around the back. And the side has your annoying, decisive little clippy clips, which hopefully will become better over time. And yeah, so that's about it for the top. So,
yeah, let's go to the conclusion, I guess.
In conclusion, I'm really liking this case. I really like how it looks more or less, because it's a case. Like, who doesn't like the looks?
Yeah, it looks
But
really nice.
like the window's really nice. I think NZXT did a really good job with the accents along the top. The general architecture of the case is really nice.
Is that a real term for cases? Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Architecture.
Okay. I'll just
Yes.
let you go with it.
So, I think one thing, if I could change one thing about this case, it would just be, I mean, it's kind of a nitpicky thing, but just the color of the orange is just a tad too bright for me. Again, maybe it's just the really bright lights we have on set here.
It's pumpkin.
Yes, it is pumpkin. But, I mean, I would just make it a tad darker. But again, it's just nitpicky, and it's all about opinion in the end. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with you on most of the things that you said. Most. But it's very nice for a quiet build, a very clean, just, if I was ever looking for that, this would definitely be the case I would go with at this present time. I'm not saying I'd go with orange, but I'm very satisfied with the orange, and I would definitely say it's going to add a very unique color to his build, and anyone that really sees it, I feel like is going to be something that you can just show, because it's different. There's not a lot of orange cases out there.
Yep, so, yeah, awesome case. I'm really liking it. I'm really excited to build my rig inside it.
And yeah, as he's laughing, I'm going to start doing a conclusion. Hey guys, if you like this video, just like it. If you didn't like it because of reasons, just like it. Please let us know inside the comments if you have anything that you maybe we should have changed or we should have done differently. Please, I actually want to know if you like this dual video, if we should do this more often, not do it at all. It's just horrid and ugly and it's weird. I don't know, depending on what you guys want to know, we would like to know. Yep. And please subscribe to us because we love subscribers. That's just us.
It really makes a difference because we become more motivated
and passionate. Really, it's fueled.
Yes, and again, if you have any questions, be sure to ask in the comments, and we will try to get back to you as quickly as we can.
I love answering questions. We love teaching, so that's how we do this stuff. Yeah, thank you for watching, and we will see you on one of our other videos. They're awesome.
So, roll outro
that we don't have.